Hello, sportsmen. You know, some people take it as an insult if you say, "You turkey," but not a hunter. Oh no! You know why? Because turkeys are actually pretty darn smart. They're cagey, they're crafty, they're difficult to hunt. They're a species that the turkey hunters really admire. We're going to talk turkey tonight and why there is nothing wrong with being called a turkey. Stay tuned. I'm Fred Trost, and you're watching The Practical Sportsman. Sitting at home, you probably look at this big tom turkey ambling across the field and you think, oh, that's interesting. And on videotape, it is interesting. But if you're a turkey hunter, you've been sitting on the edge of this field since daylight, hey, this is more than interesting. This is really exciting. Michigan's wild turkey population has exploded in recent years. DNR biologists like Al Stewart have not only studied turkey biology, but over the years, Al has taught quite a few newcomers how to hunt turkeys. Now, how do you use? You always bring map books. And a lot of people, experts like you, talk about using a map. What in the heck can you learn from a map about where the turkeys are? Or how do you use a map in turkey hunting? Well, you grab that county map right there. How is that going to help a turkey hunter?
Well, part of this, one of the best places to start to look for turkeys is areas in here where you have a river bottom going along, creek bottoms, water sources, small swamps. Those are areas where you want to start to look for turkeys because for whatever reason, the birds like to roost along areas where there's some water, some moisture. So that's not every time, but many times that's where they...
So you'll use the map to look for maybe state land you're going to hunt on, or like here, Manistee National Forest, and look for water courses, swampy areas.
That's the first place you tend to look.
Now, once you drive there, park your car, get out, what do you look for?
Well, then you start to look for turkey sign, whether you can find, any tracks or feathers. You can find an old feather like this.
Well, this feather, what does this feather tell you if you find this feather on the ground?
That feather will tell you that there's a tom in the area.
And how do you know?
You can tell that because of the black tipping on the edge of the breast feather there. A hen's would be brownish tipped or a lot lighter in color. The other you can do is, when you're looking for the tracks, you can see, big turkey feet usually belong to toms and small turkey feet belong to hens.
But I mean, you're not going to have an area that's all hens and no toms.
All you have to do is find turkey sign. Because if you're looking for turkey sign. If you find hens, then the toms aren't too far behind because they're also looking for the hens.
Okay, so you look for feathers, for tracks. Oh, what about the dust bowls where they go fluff their feathers?
There's usually some sandy areas or ant hills that the turkeys go in and they dust and they just that's really a kind of a way for them to clean themselves a little bit, and those are real common places. Those are places where you'll find feathers fairly easily because they shed a few feathers at that point.
So once you find there are turkeys in this area, what do you do then?
Well, once you've located where there are some turkeys, then you have to determine where the tom is. And one of the best ways to do that is, get up early in the morning before sunrise and get in the area where you've seen this turkey sign and then listen for the birds to gobble. The toms will, first thing in the morning, usually gobble it, at least once or twice, and a lot of times they'll gobble every couple of minutes. You can encourage a bird to gobble. One of the best ways to do that is with an owl hooter, or, hoot like an owl. Most people do it with their own voice, but you can also...
Own voice like how? Can you give me an owl hoot?
You can hoot with your own voice fairly easily.
Give me a hoot.
Sort of. You can do that loud enough, and you
pretty good.
You can hear birds. Birds will respond to that. If you're unable to do that, then you can make your own owl hooter just out of a tin can and piece of copper tubing.
That's it?
That's it. A lot of times a bird will gobble to that. I've had birds gobble to the slamming of car doors. So.
Now, as a hunter, what do you do? It's your opening day.
Well, if you've spent, if you've done your homework and you've found these birds and you've got a bird where you know where it's roosted, you probably have also looked around on your maps or where you walked around and found some openings in the forest or a logging trail that's a little bit more open that the bird comes out and displays in. So, like anything else, the best place to be is between where the turkey is and where he wants to go.
This being a high point, I think the toms, they really like it because they can get up here, they can display and strut, and they do that for the benefit of the hens. And the hens can see them, from anywhere. They can be quite a ways out, and the hens can see them. They also have a vantage point for predators or anything that comes along. They see it and they can get out of here quick.
Real quick out of here.
Yeah.
It's not hard cover down below either.
The bird's main mode of defense is its eyesight. That's what it uses to tell whether there's danger around. And there's a lot of things out there that can eat some turkeys.
Is that what this outfit and all this camo is about?
Camouflage is real important when you have something like you want to certainly dress in all camouflage, but when you're setting out in the woods, you want to pick an area that you're not sitting in real thick brush. You want an area that's fairly open so that you can see and the bird can see and feel comfortable. Turkey isn't going to go into really thick brush looking for a hen because that's probably not where a hen would be, because there are other things out there that want to eat turkeys.
If this area right behind you, these pine trees here, and it's fairly open around it, is this something you would snuggle up into a pine tree? Or what would you do?
I think I'd probably sit against a larger tree like one of the ones beside us here.
So
Sit
an oak
right
tree
up
or something like
against
that?
Yeah, a tree that's usually as wide as my shoulders or wider. That's what I look for. What you want to do is be, very well camouflaged, your face, your hands, and be reasonably open. Again, because that's where the turkeys want to be. And the bottom line is that you don't move. That's probably the most critical aspect of sitting and waiting for a turkey to come into you. You want to be able to sit comfortably and be able to sit comfortably for a long period of time.
Hunting in the rain is sometimes necessary. See, Michigan hunters have to pre-register for our turkey hunting permits, and the seasons are sometimes relatively short, so hunters have to hunt when they can. Sometimes the gobblers are active, they cooperate, they come into the call, or at least they show up at the places they've been using recently, but they're not always predictable. Sometimes the tom turkeys won't cooperate. They won't answer the calls. Usually it's the brown-headed hens like these that aren't on the nests that keep the toms occupied. That's when hunting is tough, because the toms won't answer a call. Other times, they won't come in. Oh, it's frustrating when they answer your call, but they keep walking away, going wherever they feel like going, but not coming towards you. And some hunters and some successful turkey hunting guides say that if the toms won't come to you, you have to make a few calls like a hen, then move a few feet to make the tom think that you're a hen that's coming his way.
That's a pretty good tactic. You have to be very careful when you're utilizing that for several reasons. One is turkeys can see very well, and that's their main mode of defense. And so when you make that move, you jeopardize yourself in letting the turkey know that, gee, there's something else out here. Mm-hmm. Again, they're looking for ground predators and some avian predators as well. But they're looking for any movement that isn't a hen turkey, things on the ground, or there are things out there that want to eat them. So,
including a turkey hunter.
Yeah, and they're delicious to eat.
Are they really that much better than the old Butterball?
Well, I think they are.
I know it. That's what I was. Why is that? They don't have the fat on them.
No, they don't have as much fat, but they have a much better flavor to them than a Butterball.
So, do you, when a turkey comes in and you're out there hunting in your last season, you've done all this elaborate preparation, you have all these calls, all this expertise, here's the beards of two turkeys. A huge, I would call it very huge Tom. I mean, this is a trophy turkey beard, and this is a little Jake. Now, the Jake comes in, you think about the Butterball, you think about the taste of the turkey. Do you shoot the first one you see? Do you wait for a big one? What's your attitude after?
Well, if you have the opportunity to, shoot a turkey and you get a bird within, 15 yards, that doesn't come to a lot of people very often. So if you're interested in shooting a turkey, in Michigan, a legal turkey is a bearded bird. And if you can tell that it's a Tom and an association with that, then...
Have you passed up Jake saying, I'm waiting for a big one?
I have had the opportunity to do that on a few occasions. Yeah.
Have you generally regretted it by the end of the season? Or
Like I said, anytime you can get a turkey within 15 yards of you,
it'd be a good idea to take it.
You've accomplished an awful lot. And to even have a hen come in that close, just to have the experience of having a bird that close to you, that's what being in the woods is all about. And that's what turkey hunting is all about. Again, most of the people that go out are not going to shoot a turkey, but everybody will be successful in one way or another.
Al Stewart is an excellent turkey caller. He's an excellent turkey hunter. And in fact, he makes a variety of the homemade turkey calls that he uses. Now, you can see Al Stewart and... Okay. And you were hunting St. Clair County, around there somewhere.
Yes. I'm not going to tell you where.
Well, like I'm going to show up there.
Right.
This was on the 3rd of May at 6:20 a.m. So what, did this come off of the roost?
Yes, and I called him in.
All by yourself?
Yeah, my husband was home in bed. I had to call him in myself.
Well, what's his deal?
Well, it was my hunt, so I was out there by myself. He taught me how to do it. He showed me how to set up the decoys and everything. And
Now, was this just this year he showed you? Was
oh,
this
no.
your first year of
no,
hunting?
no, this is my second turkey. I got an 18-pounder before.
Oh,
yeah.
no
This
kidding.
one was 19 pounds.
Now, was turkey hunting your first encounter with hunting?
No, we deer hunt too.
And how do you do?
I've gotten $4 so far.
And he's gotten a lot of sleep?
Yeah. Oh, God, I'm going to walk home.
Why? How many bucks has he gotten?
I don't know. He's got about that many, too. He hasn't gotten any turkeys yet. But
Now, he taught you how to hunt,
right.
and you're actually doing better. Didn't he?
Yeah.
What do you attribute that to? I mean, seriously.
What, the hunting?
That you seem to do better than he does.
More patience. Just luck.
So it isn't more patience? I mean, does he?
Luck and patience, yeah.
So he gets a little antsy and moves around, and you?
Well, yeah, he moves around a lot. No, he does well. He does well. He does really well. Oh, God, I'm going to walk home. Oh, God.
Well, I tell you, I think we squeaked some good advice out of this, though, about successful hunting. Sit still, be patient.
Right. And I wanted to jump up and down when I saw it coming, but it was hard.
But that's like he would have done.
I know. No.
Well, congratulations, Diane. It's a great story and good hunting tip. Answers. Everybody wants answers, Sal.
They sure do.
We are scrambling for the answers, but of course, it's a little easier when we have specific questions. And we are on May 4th going to hold a seminar. Of course, I'll probably be asking the questions, You'll be coming up with the answers, but I've come across a lot of these, Sal, that sportsmen have. These are the types of things that we're going to be covering on May 4th. See if one of these interests you. We're going to have 4 hours of this going through an agenda that covers your liability as a landowner. Okay, if you own land, hunting land, invite friends over. Is there a big concern there about
Well, there has to be. If
trip
there's-
and fall, or somebody breaks their ankle, or steps on a bottle of glass or something?
Well, there is. The laws, if there's open and obvious dangers, you have an obligation to keep people protected on your property in certain circumstances. We want to make sure people understand what their liability is when they have people come onto their property to hunt, or if they lease property from someone or lease it themselves.
Well, what about that when people lease? This is one thing I'm sure we're going to have people coming and asking. People say, well, if I just write up a lease, like for $1, can I lease somebody's land for hunting?
Well, sure, you can do it for $1. The key is the right words in the lease. Is there clauses that talk about insurance, about damages, about who's going to be liable? So the dollar's not the problem, it's the rest of the lease itself.
So who does have the liability? If you lease land for $1, do you buy all of the liability?
Another question. It all depends on the lease. If the lease is done right, you can contract what you want to
Oh, okay.
contract for in a lease.
Okay, and we're going to be covering this. We'll be talking about the, conservation officers. When they're coming on private land, what if they trip and fall and slip?
Well, if a CO, first of all, has to have some reason to be on your property. For example, probable cause to believe that there's some type of criminal activity or illegal hunt going on. If they come on your property and fall, are they liable for your negligence? Well, there's some more questions.
When you buy a license, here's another thing we're going to cover. What you buy when you buy a hunting license. Does that mean a conservation officer, a law enforcement person can come onto your land anytime just because you're hunting?
No, it doesn't.
Now, some people say it does.
Well, that's what the law says.
Well, I guess we won't argue about that right now, will we? That's a subject on the seminar. Concealed weapons laws, a lot of things that deal, Sportsman's Code of Conduct. Short of a law, but a code of conduct that might help people.
Something more important than the law, I think.
Now, we're going to deal with those things too. So this is on May 4th, on Saturday, right here at the museum from 10 until 2:30. That's also a puppy day here at the museum. But if you want information on this, we're limiting this to 50 people. So give us a call, or on Monday afternoon. If you want to talk to Sal Ghani, he'll be here for an hour or so. Give him a call with your questions of law. If you ever have any leftover venison roast or want a super idea on how to use it, Eva Pecan from Posen sent us one of my all-time favorites. It's called North Country Spread. It's a sandwich filling that's really tasty. You can take some leftover venison roast, or, use beef roast if you're short on venison. Grind it up, add a cup of red and green pepper relish, some onions, some dill or sweet pickle relish, some finely diced celery. Throw in a couple tablespoons of mustard and some mayo or Miracle Whip. If you like that ground bologna stuff, you'll go ape over this. It's 10 times better. That's North Country Spread for sandwiches, for your outdoor trips. This recipe is in the April issue of the Practical Sportsman magazine. It's a winner. We haven't had one in 3 years, but we're going to do it again for old time's sake. July 13th and 14th at the Houghton Lake High School, an outdoor fair. But this fair is going to have a couple of new twists. One of the themes of this year's fair is what we call Issues 96. The Michigan Sportsmen's Congress will be presenting some educational programs on 2 current legislative issues, the future of concealed weapons laws and bear hunting in Michigan. We want the public to meet the hounds and the puppies that are at the center of attention in the bear hunting issue. Mickey Wingate of the Great Lakes Ferret Association is putting a ferret festival together for the fair, a chance for northern Michigan ferret owners to get together. We'll have our traditional popular attractions like Puppy Alley, archery events, Muzzleloaders Village, big shooting show, lots of exhibitors, and more. As we add new events, we'll announce them on this show. So the Outdoor Fair at Houghton Lake, July 13th and 14th, mark that on your calendar. Before we get into our guide report, I want to take you to another world. Some people call it God's country up in the Upper Peninsula. Gene Carollo sent me some photos of a place that we showed you the story, fishing in this pond, fishing for trout. Here's a Polaroid of this pond. It was taken April 15th. That's on Monday, tax day. 3 feet of ice, 3 feet of snow. Here's a shot of the lodge. The snow is piled up around it coming into the lodge. Jeannie says on April 15th, they got 8 inches of new snow. And leaving the lodge there, some of the snow banks are 6 feet high. So that's what it looks like in the UP. Look at our snow map around the state tomorrow. Will you get outdoors this weekend if you can? It's a great place to be. I'll see you next week.
And to even have a hen come in that close, just to have the experience of having a bird that close to you. That's
excitement
what
is
being
working,
in the
yeah.
woods is all about, and that's what turkey hunting is all about. Again, most of the people that go out are not going to shoot a turkey, but everybody will be successful in one way or another.